Dear respected Thầy, dear noble community, the sound is okay. It's a little bit loud. Today is 27th of December, the year 2019. We are in the Assembly Stars Meditation Hall at Low Hamlet. So welcome to Low Hamlet for the Mindfulness Day. I hope that everyone enjoy Christmas time together. Are you happy with the Christmas time at Plum Village? Yes, thank you. So thank you for coming here to celebrate the Christmas time together as a big family, as a spiritual family. Christmas time is the time for us to go home, to celebrate the Christmas together. So on that spirit, I would like to share with you about going home. How we can go home to take care of ourselves. By breathing, we can go home to our body and follow our breathing. Just simple to follow in breath and out breath. And we calm our in breath and out breath. And we can smile to our in breath and out breath. And we feel very peaceful when we enjoy our breathing. And then we are aware of our whole body and relax our whole body, calm our whole body. When we are aware of our whole body, we can feel the tension in our body, and then we release the tension. We can pay attention in that area and breathe with that area. And slowly, slowly, you can feel relaxed. And the same method, we can be aware of our feeling. So what feeling come up in our mind, we can be aware of that and smile to our feeling and calm our feeling. And also the same with our mind. So what kind of our mind present in our body, we can be aware of our mind and calm our mind down. And smile to our mind too. And when we can do that, we feel at ease. We feel peaceful. We can manage ourselves, we can master ourselves. And we can be free. In fact, that our body and our mind relate to each other. What happened to our body, it will happen to our mind. And also what happened to our mind, it stays in our body. So take care of our body in order that we can take care of our mind. And take good care of our mind, we can take good care of our body. And we feel at ease. We feel solid. We feel comfortable to our body, to our feeling, and to our mind. When we go somewhere for a long journey, and sometimes we are tired because of the long journey. And when we come back home, we feel at ease, we feel relaxed, and we don't want to go anywhere else. Lie down and relaxed, feel warm and feel cozy. And so it is the same when we go back home to our body, we also feel at ease, comfortable, relaxed, peaceful, and solid. And we can be our home. And then when we can be our home, we can extend our home to other people. When people come to us, they also feel at ease, they feel peaceful, they feel relaxed, and they can take refuge in ourselves. Because our home now is very large. Our heart is bigger. And we can be the place for other people to take refuge in. And first of all, for our beloved one. When your partner comes to you, they feel at ease. Your children come to you, they feel joyful, happy, peaceful. And then we can extend our home to other people, for example, to our friends, to our colleagues, to our workers, to the people around us, to our Sangha. And then we can extend our home to all the people, to all humankind. And our home becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's never limit. We have the few days before we celebrate the New Year. In Vietnamese tradition, we prepare a lot for the New Year, and Vietnamese New Year we call Tết. And we don't wait until the 1st of January to welcome the New Year. But we also call the last days of the year is like New Year, like 26 New Year, 26 Tết, 27 Tết, vân vân. 26 New Year, 27 New Year, 28 New Year, 29 New Year, 30 New Year, until the first day of the New Year. So we celebrate the New Year before. We prepare a lot of things. We clean up our house. We plant a lot of flowers. We prepare a lot of food. We have the new dress. Many things to welcome the New Year. So I would like to invite you to benefit the spirit of the Vietnamese Tết, Vietnamese New Year. We can go home to clean up our home, to prepare ourselves to welcome the New Year, to plant in our garden many kinds of flowers. And maybe in our home there are some garbage, so we can throw them away in order that our home can be spacious, our home can be clean, can be beautiful, and can be breathable for us to enjoy. So I would like to invite you to reflect on yourselves, to see what kind of garbage that you want to throw away. There are some furniture, some things that you store for a long time, and it's accumulate a lot of dust, and maybe we never touch it, and we don't want to throw it away, and it occupies our home, our room, and maybe for 10 years we don't touch it. So now we have to be brave to recycle them, to throw them away, for our house to be spacious. So it is the same, to see what kind of mind we have that prevent us to be happy, that prevent us to be free. And we take it, put in the bag, and bring it to the recycle area. So and to throw garbage, sometimes we need the courage, because we feel regret that we don't want to throw them away, and sometimes we need the courage. And courage is one of the three power that lead us to be happy, that lead us to be peaceful. And sometimes we call this power is virtue. This power is not the power of money, it's not power of fame, it's not power of wealth, it's not power of position. But it's a power to lead us to happiness, lead us to be peaceful. So I would like to write on the board the 3 power. So the first power is the compassion. And first of all, we have to have the self-compassion. We have to love ourselves. We have to accept ourselves. We have the capacity to forgive ourselves. Sometimes we make a mistake and we feel regret and we suffer because of the regret. We don't have the capacity to forgive ourselves. So this is why we are not so free. So we have to have the capacity to forgive ourselves. We can practice begin anew. We can do in a different way. I remember that the first days when I came to Plum Village to become a nun, I miss my family a lot and I also cry a lot. Especially I miss my mom because I love her, but also because I feel regret that in the past I caused her a lot of suffering. So it is why I feel regret. I'm very stubborn. I didn't listen to her. And so it is why I feel regret. But with the practice, I communicate with her and try to forgive myself. And I say to myself that I have to live wholeheartedly in this environment. So when I leave this place, I don't feel regret. But when I leave my home to become a nun, and it is a good lesson for me. It is a big lesson for me. So wherever I am, I live wholeheartedly in order that in the future I don't feel regret. Sometimes we suffer because we feel regret what we have done in the past or what we didn't do in the past that instead we have to do. So we try to live wholeheartedly in the present moment and we don't feel regret later on. So we have the capacity to forgive ourselves and to free ourselves. And when we are free, we have a lot of space and we can bring joy and happiness to others. Like when I am free, I can bring joy and happiness to my mom. And I establish the communication with my mom. And I become happy. So compassion, first of all, you have to compassionate to yourself, forgive yourself, and embrace yourself. Sometimes we cannot accept ourselves. We feel we are not good enough, we are not beautiful enough, and we become suffer. We are very clumsy. We have a lot of shortcomings. So imagine that we have a child who is not so beautiful, who is also very clumsy. She did a lot of mistakes. And the people disparage her. And she suffered a lot. And she cried a lot. So what should we do as her mother? We just embrace her and telling her that you are okay. You are beautiful already in my heart. Right? You don't want to yell at her anymore. You don't want to blame her. You don't want to judge her. because she suffered a lot already. You don't want to make her more suffering. So it is the same with ourselves. We suffer a lot already. We don't want to make ourselves suffer more. And we are a mother of ourselves, to embrace of our body, to embrace of our feeling, to embrace of our mind. As a mother, to embrace a child. And we can say to ourselves, you are okay. You don't want to become another person. You don't want to become another, and you don't want to become other thing. And the mother is mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you to embrace yourself and calm down your feeling, calm down your suffering, calm down your mind until you feel released, until you feel relaxed. Then you have the capacity to help other people to do the same. The people that also have a lot of suffering, and you can help them to go back to themselves, to accept themselves, and to water the good seed inside of themselves. Sometimes people do something to make us suffer, and we become angry with that person. And sometimes we become hatred with that person, and we cannot forgive her or forgive him. And we cannot forgive him because the wound is still here in our body and in our mind. And every time we think of that person, we feel hurt, we feel painful. So it is why we had to go back to our body to take care of the wound by the breathing. Relax our whole body, release the wound. And when you are healed, you have the capacity to forgive. If not, there is no way to forgive. Maybe the first time it's easy to forgive, the second time it's easy. But when that person made the same mistake and caused you suffering, it's really, really difficult. Why you keep repeating this thing again and again and again? And so it is really difficult. And when you see that it's really difficult for you to forgive, so it means that the wound is still here. But when the wound is healed, you can forgive them easily. And sometimes we don't need to say that I forgive her. But forgiveness happens naturally because the wound is gone. Sometimes they make a mistake and you wait for them to say sorry to you. Why you made a mistake with me? Why you caused me the suffering? But you don't want to say sorry to me. And we only forgive her or him when they say sorry to us. But they didn't. Why we have to wait until they say sorry to us to free ourselves? We have to free ourselves first. Don't wait until they say sorry to you. Because maybe it's too late. Maybe they never say sorry to you. So please don't become the victim. We can overcome that suffering. And when we change, the people will change. But sometimes because of our habit energy, We want that person to say sorry to us. And they never did it, and we suffer forever. So if we are wise, if we are smart, so please liberate ourselves as soon as possible. Don't wait for other people to change for us to be happy, for us to be free. So it is the way we love ourselves. It is a way to take care of ourselves. And by this way, we can transform our wound, our suffering, our obsession into joy and happiness. There is some big wound that made us to obsess. And we don't want to think of it, because every time we think of it, we suffer a lot, and we don't want to touch it. And when the times come, we will suffer. For example, if we had the wound happen during the Christmas time, we feel very scared when the Christmas time comes, right? Because we think of our obsession. We think about the haunting memory. And sometimes we run away from that time. We don't want to face to ourselves. If we had the wound happen in the Christmas time, we feel very scared when the Christmas comes. If we had the wound in the New Year, we feel afraid and scared when the New Year comes. And we want to run away. But by the way to come back to ourselves and heal the wound, we can transform the obsession. We can transform the haunting memory. And it's become the big lessons for us. We can do better. We can behave better. In order that we don't create the same mistake again in the future. So whatever happens, if we are mindful, if we are aware of it, it's become the big lessons for us. And we can do better. And by that way, we have the capacity to begin anew. And also we offer other people opportunity to practice beginning anew. And we look at other people with the new eyes. We don't judge them, we don't prejudice with them, because they already changed. And we always look at her past, we'll always look at his past. And sometimes she wants to change, but we always look at her past, so she didn't want to continue to practice begin anew. So we understand ourselves, then we can understand other people. So it is the first power that you need to nourish yourself. And when the people come to you, they feel embraced by us. They feel that they receive the forgiveness from us. And they feel peaceful. They can do beginning anew. They can be a new person. And the second power is clever. Sometimes we call wisdom or insight. Sometimes we are caught in something that we cannot overcome it. But if we look deeply into that situation, we can find the way out. And clever here is not the knowledge that you can find in the book, you can find in the DVD, you can find in my talk. But that clever is come from yourself. It's come from inside of yourself by your practice in the daily life. And all the lessons we learn is the same. You don't see in the book. You cannot learn compassion when you open the book and you read it, no. But by the way we contact with the people, by the way we transform our suffering, so we have the compassion. We cannot learn the patience in the book, or way to deal with the situation during the day in your relationship. Then you learn the patience. So it is the same with clever, with insight. We never learn in the book. So it is a knowledge. It is not the knowledge that you accumulate while you read the book, or you watch the DVD. You go to the YouTube and search for what you need, but it's not the insight. But the insight comes from your experience. And it also comes from your peaceful mind. When you go home to your body, calm down your feeling, calm down your emotion, calm down your mind, so you can see things clearly. So it is the insight. And insight come up quickly. It's like the thunder. It's come up naturally, quickly. So sometimes we have the problem and we don't know how to solve the problem. Try not to think. But just go back to yourself, make your mind become peaceful. And when you are peaceful enough, the solution come up. Of course, we need the knowledge, because if we don't have the knowledge, maybe we don't know how to nourish it. We don't know how to nourish the insight. For example, if we don't know how to breathe, maybe we don't breathe properly. If we don't know how to calm down our feeling in our mind, maybe we don't know how to do it correctly. So we have to learn how to do it. And then we know how to do it, we have to put it into practice. We have to apply it. And then we have to insight. And sometimes we call it understanding. And if there is no understanding, there is no love. We cannot love other people if we don't understand them. We may think that we love them, but in fact that we cause them a lot of suffering. As the parents, we see that our children as our treasure property. We do everything for them. Buy the new thing for them, buy the new beautiful clothes for them, raise them up, help them to go to the university, to have the good job, to buy the car for them, and you think that you have done everything for your children. But in fact that you don't understand them. You don't know what they want. They don't know, you don't know their aspiration. And you may never have chance to listen to them. So you may come back to have the good communication with them, to understand your children. And when you understand your children, you can bring them a lot of joy and happiness. So that is the insight, that is the understanding. And you see that your children are your continuation. You take good care of your children, is take good care of your continuation. And your children can bring you to the future. So it is the insight. And we have many kinds of insight. Impermanent insight, non-self insight, interbeing insight. So we have to learn about impermanent, we learn about non-self, we learn about interbeing, we learn about love, and we put them into practice in order that we have the insight. And the insight can liberate us. And the third power is courage. Courage to cut through affliction. Sometimes we call courage, sometimes we call cutting through the afflictions, or sometimes we call letting go. We had the courage to let go of our idea. Sometimes the idea made us suffer. We think that we are right, and the people, other people is wrong. So it is why we argue with each other. We bring disharmony in our family. I remember that when I was young, sometimes my parents argue with each other, and my mom thought that she is right, and my father thought that he was right, and both of them were right. But they cannot accept other people's idea, other people's view. So it is why they cause each other suffering, and they make their children suffer. So we have to be courageous to let go of our idea. Even we think that we are right, but if it doesn't bring harmony in our family, so we can bring it home. We can let it go. Because it doesn't bring happiness to each other. So maybe we can contemplate to see what we need to let go, what we need to cut through of. And the first thing we need to cut through is our craving. So there are many kinds of craving. We are craving for food, for example, but it can bring us a lot of suffering. But it's very tasty, very delicious, but it's not good for our health. So maybe we can let go. We desire to have a car, a beautiful car, and we do a lot of work. We work hard to earn money to buy a car. But in fact that when we have the car, we are not so happy, but to accumulate more tension, stress. And when we are tenseful and stressed, we make other people suffer also, but we may not realize that. And some things that we think that if we have them, we are happy, but in fact that when we have them, we are not happy. So we have to look deeply to see what kind of desire we have that doesn't bring us happiness, but we think that it will bring us happiness. And we have to be courageous to let them go away. We have let go. It is the same with the material things and spiritual things also. We have to let go. So, when we look deeply into the things, and we can realize that maybe the simple life is the best for us. We don't need to have much things to be happy. We live simply, but we have time for ourselves. We have time for our beloved one. Sometimes we feel tense, we feel stressful, but we don't have time to relax. We do thing after things. And we think that when we finish this thing, we had opportunity to relax, to rest. But in fact that when we finish one thing, we have another thing to do. And we have never had the chance to relax and to rest. And even we go to the vacation, we also do a lot of things, arrange a lot of things for us to relax, but in fact that we accumulate more tension in our body and in our mind. We want to have a big house, but in fact that when we have a big house, we are not happy. But if you have time, you have everything. And people say time is a gold. But our teachers say that time is our life. We have to enjoy our time as we enjoy our life. And the second thing that we want to get through is anger or hatred. Anger is a big thing that we have to deal with. Because of anger, we also create a lot of suffering for each other. And when we angry, we think that we are right. So it is why we angry with other people. They do something wrong. They make us suffer. Why they do like this? Why they say like that? And because of that, we angry with that. But the same method to go back to our home, to our body and feeling, to take care of our body and feeling, we take good care of our anger. We embrace our anger, calm down our anger, and to free ourselves. When I do sitting meditation, I scan my whole body, aware of my whole body, from my breathing to my face, my shoulders, my arms, my back, my legs, my fingers, my toes, my intestine, my liver, my heart. So I scan my whole body. And then I scan all members in the community, in my Sangha, to see if I angry with anyone. And then I scan all the people with other hamlet, with other Sangha, with my family, to see I'm angry, if I'm angry with anyone. And the moment that I feel I'm not angry with anyone, I feel so happy. I feel so free. So just the fact that we are not angry with anyone, we are already happy. So you may do the same. When you have free time, just think of yourself, think of other people, and see if you are angry with anyone. And then the moment you feel that you are not angry with anyone, you free yourself. You liberate yourself. And you become happy, like you are the happiest person in the world. And the same with the other mind. If you had the jealousy, and when you do sitting meditation, you also scan everyone in your family or in the community. And that moment you don't feel jealous with anyone. You feel so happy. And you can do like that with any kind of mind that bind you, that make you unhappy. And then you extend the sitting meditation time out of the day. Like when you do the work, when you cook in the kitchen, when you do washing, when you take a walk. So you extend it, and you also feel happy, and your happiness becomes huge. And whole day long, you feel happy. And if you can do for one day, you can do for the second day, the third day, the fourth day, a month, a year, and maybe forever. And you can master yourself. So, anger or hatred is only one kind of mind. But with every kind of mind, you can do the same. And the third is ignorance. With the insight or wisdom, we have to look deeply into things. We have to look deeply into the situation to understand the situation better. And when we understand the situation, we can free ourselves. We suffer because we don't see things clearly. We ignore things. We ignorant about things, about reality. So we have to cut through ignorance. We have to break through ignorance in order that we can free ourselves. Sometimes we need friends to help us because we don't see things clearly, but we thought that we see things clearly. It is very dangerous. So sometimes we need help. We can ask our friend who has experience in the practice to show us the way, to help us. In our community, we say that the individual insight is not the good at the community insight. So we need the collective insight to help us. So when we have the difficulty, please ask for help. Because the judgment is very dangerous. We think that they are wrong and we are right. It's very dangerous. So please ask for help. So we go back to ourselves, go back to our home to see what kind of garbage that you want to throw them away by this kind of method, and what kind of flower you want to plant in order that we can welcome the new year. Sometimes we can let go the big thing, but we cannot let go the small thing. And we turn the small thing into the big thing, the big deal. I don't know if you read the magazine, New York Times. There is an article with the title is "He's never going to put away that shirt." It's very interesting. It is written by Brenda Janowitz. She tells about the shirt of her husband. That shirt is left on the upstairs on the hallway for many days, and he didn't take it away. And when she saw that shirt, she felt very irritated. She said that why my husband didn't clean up, didn't take it away. And she wants to clean up, she wants to take it away. And it's only take few steps to take it to put in the cabinet, but she didn't do it. Because she doesn't want to become the person who clean up after him, to pick up after him. Because she has 2 children to take care of. And she always clean up things for her children, pick up after her children. So it is why she doesn't want to pick up things after him. But every day, she become more and more irritated. And she told her mom, and her mom said that because your husband is the doctor and he busy, so just take it away. But she doesn't want to. And she come to the therapy. But it doesn't help. She told her friend, it also doesn't help. And she remembered there are moments that her husband did a lot of things, clean up the house, threw the garbage, etc. And there are some very difficult moments. Her husband comforts her, help her to go out of the fear, of the suffering, of the worries. But still, she still suffers because of that shirt. And she pay attention to that shirt to see if it's moved. But it's still there, day by day, for 6 months. And one day, she saw it's gone. And she asked her husband, you took the shirt away? And her husband said that, what kind of shirt? And he said that the shirt on the upstairs. And he said, yes. I cleaned up this morning, I took them away. And I also took out their socks. And she asked, what kind of socks? In fact, that the socks she wants to wear when she does exercise, she put aside and she didn't use it, and she leave it there for many days, maybe many months. But before that, she's so surprised why her husband didn't pay attention to the shirt. And she feels that it seems that they are nothing, but it's become the big deal for her. But when she realized that, I think she feels free. She may laugh to herself. It is very human. It's very mundane. But sometimes it's very... I think that everyone, sometimes we share the same situation with her. Sometimes we can deal with the big thing, but with the small thing, we cannot overcome it. And it causes a lot of suffering. Why we have to wait until 6 months to liberate ourselves? Instead, it's to take few seconds to take it away, and we free ourselves for 6 months. So maybe it is an invitation that I would like to invite you to look deeply into yourself, to see what binds you, what ties you up, that allow you to be happy, to be free. And we don't wait until 6 months later to free ourselves. We don't wait until our husband who took away the shirt for us to be free. We can do it because it's very little thing. Sometimes there's something happen that we don't like it. Our mind attached to that. Our mind direct to the object. And it carries us away and it prevents us to be happy. So we have to go back to ourselves and concentrate in our breathing, concentrate in our mind, in our body, in order that we can stop thinking. We can stop directing our mind to the object that we don't like. We cut off the thing that prevent us to be happy. Direct our mind back to our body. And when we go back to our body, we also see clearly that we also have some mistake. In the Dhammapada Sutta, Kinh Pháp Cũ, the Buddha also said that easy sin are others' faults. Hard indeed to see are one's own. Like chaff, one winnows others' faults, but one's own faults one hides. As a crafty gambler conceals his gambling cards. Dễ thay thảy lỗi người, lỗi mình thảy mới khó. Lỗi người ta phân tìm như tìm trậu trong gạo, còn lỗi mình thì che đầy như kẻ gian dẫu bài. So easy to see the mistakes of other people, but for our own it's really difficult to see it. So during the daily life, if you only see the mistake of the other people, so maybe our practice is wrong. We have to go back to ourselves to see our mistakes. And the more mistake we see, the better we are, because we see ourselves clearly. Not because the more we practice, the more mistake we create, but the more practice, the more clearly we see ourselves. And when we see ourselves clearly, it's really easy for us to forgive other people. So mistakes sometimes very precious. If you don't do mistakes, maybe it's really difficult for you to forgive other people. But when you had a mistake, it's easy for you to forgive other people. So it is why the Buddha always advise us to go back to ourselves, to see ourselves clearly. And if we see ourselves clearly, we can help other people to see them clearly too. Outside is very beautiful. Today we are lucky to have the sunshine. So maybe we stop here to enjoy the sunshine. But one more time, I would like to invite you to go back home, the physical home, home here and home in your family, to clean up your home and to plant a flower in your garden to welcome the new year. And of course, we can plant many kinds of flower, and every kind of flower, they need different water, different ingredient, different manure, so we can learn in order that we can plant good flower. So it is the same, we can plant in the garden of our mind many kinds of flower, flower of compassion, of love, of forgiveness, of peace, joy, harmony, etc. And we can plant the garden. And sometimes our garden is not so clean, it's not so in order, because we don't take good care of our garden, and it's become wild. And sometimes we go back to our garden, and our garden become very dirty, and we become bored when we see our garden, and we worry. We don't know where we can start. So if it is your situation, just smile to your garden, and we can be brave, we can be courageous to take care of that. And we look around to see in the garden if there is any tree still alive, so we can start from that tree. And we take good care of that tree, and we enjoy that tree. And then from that tree, so we can extend to take care of other place in the garden. So it is the same with the garden of our mind. Sometimes we feel unease with our mind. But if we see that we still have the compassion, it's good already. If it's still alive, we go back to take care of our compassion and make it bigger, make it stronger. We can love, share our love to other people. Feel compassionate to other people, feel compassionate to other people suffering. And then we extend to other tree. I love, forgiveness, understanding, etc. And we make our garden become more beautiful, become bright. So I wish you a safe trip home, to take good care of your garden, to clean up your home with joy and happiness, to celebrate a new year, wherever you are, and enjoy the happy new year. Thank you so much for your listening.